We argue, and I didn't really sit back and think about it until I was forced to think about it.
Of course you didn't sit back and think about it because you're a two-dimensional thinker. Brothers, once again, the woman is a two-dimensional thinker, essentially, on average. Are there women that actually contemplate the consequences of their actions? Yes, every once in a while, but it's very, very rare. Most women are allowed to get away with so much in this society that they don't have to think about the consequences of their actions. They don't have to care about what they call somebody. They don't have to care about if they put their hands on somebody. They don't have to care about much because they know that for the most part, there's a protective bubble around them. So you're the one. We're the ones who have to be three-dimensional thinkers and see things ahead of the curve so that we can avoid certain things. None of us are perfect. We all gonna get caught up in dumb shit. But we have to try to see certain things coming.
Janay Rice has never seen the video from inside the elevator, the one where Ray punches her. I think it's so hard for people to understand.
Yeah, the one where Ray punched her after she spit on him.
Right.
Why you haven't looked at that tape?
I was there.
Yeah.
I lived it. I don't really need to relive it over and over again.
Exactly, and she's about to cry right now. I mean, Gail, if somebody whooped your ass, would you want to see the tape again? Would you want to see the tape of them clocking you upside your head and your wig flying off?
Just to appease the world.
You've also said that was the first and only time.
Yes.
What do you think, Ray, when you look at it now?
I hate that person. I hate him. Somewhere down the line, everybody was saying, does he deserve a second chance for football and this, that, and the other. I actually got my second chance right here.
With your wife?
During my...
Well, for now, you have your second chance with the wife. I mean, brother, no disrespect, but where exactly was she going to go from you? I promise you that her options other than you were not that high, and if she did have options that were on your level, she would have left you. No disrespect, I'm just being honest about it. Now, they were married in 2014. Let's see if they're still married by 2024. After a certain amount of time has passed, where she could take his money and take his home if that's what she wanted. We'll see. I'm not trying to put negative vibes on their relationship. I hope that everything works out for their sake. I hope that she's as loyal and he's as loyal to their relationship as they're trying to depict on television. But always understand something, brothers. The woman tries to pull you into that falling in love dynamic while in her mind, she's thinking about the money. Always understand something. When you get married for quote unquote love. When you get divorced, everything's about the money. It's not about the love anymore. It's about the money. So we'll see what happens in another 4 years if they're still together. And then should they get divorced, how things are going to go down.
Darkest moments, I used to ask myself, how could she even want to support me? But
I could have told you that, brother. She wanted to support you because you probably have 7 figures in the bank.
A lot of people wondered that.
That's understandable.
In other words, Gail is trying to put a certain energy into the wife. Let me rewind this back a little bit.
My second chance. Right here.
With your wife?
During my darkest moments, I used to ask myself, how could she even want to support me? But
a lot of people wondered that.
Yes, Gail King, when you say a lot of people wondered that, you're talking about your damn self especially. Because most of these older women advise the younger women to leave the man at the drop of a hat. If he's not willing to follow behind them, meaning the woman and her program, you're supposed to leave that man behind. Once again, brothers, this society is trying to train women, or really has trained women, to believe that the man is a replaceable commodity. That's why you have to protect what you have of value. That being your manhood, your soul, your seed. You have to protect those things. And once the woman sees that you hold yourself in high value and high regard, she'll be forced to do the same thing. Right now, the woman does not hold so-called men in general in high regard because they see that men, for the most part, think like women, especially a lot of black men. A lot of so-called black men today think and act like women, and they're not even necessarily cognizant of it. That is not even necessarily their fault because that's how they're raised. They're raised like women to think like women, and then those same women will turn around and say, where are all the real men at? That's why, once again, the solution always goes back to the man. The solution is never going to go back to the woman. Okay? Because the woman is not a three-dimensional thinker. She's not really aware or does not care to be aware of how what she does affects society at large or her community or things of that nature. It's more about what's going to make her happy at that moment. So it's up to the man to think on a higher level and at a higher frequency.
It's understandable. But I think what's misunderstood about us is that the friends we were before the incident. That's why, like I said, when I look at Kareem's hunt, I want to know what his life was like. I want to know what happened in life. You know, I know Kareem has apologized and has expressed remorse for the survivors of domestic violence.
But you know what, guys? Apologies mean nothing if people don't feel, A, you've done the work.
You've done the work, yes.
And that you're truly remorseful, and that this isn't just some attempt to get back into football.
Well, we know that this ain't really an attempt to get back into football because in Ray Rice's last year with the Ravens, he was averaging about 3 yards a carry. But pay close attention to what people like Gayle King say. Because in other words, she's saying, black man, if you do anything that this society deems to be atrocious, not only is your word not good enough, you basically have to get down on both knees and on your hands and beg the woman for her forgiveness and beg society at large for their forgiveness. We have yet to see a female, like for example, a Hope Solo, who also was found to be involved in domestic violence, not only with her husband, but also with, I believe, her nephew or somebody like that. She's not told that she has to show contrition for what she does. Many of these modern day females, they like to initiate physical confrontations with men. Many of them are the reason why a lot of low level thinking men are locked up in prison or dead right now. The vast majority of men who are locked up over women. Okay? Whether they were trying to sell drugs to impress women because they think on a low level, or whether they may have killed a former boyfriend of a woman, because many of these women will have weak-minded dudes kill another man because they're upset with that man, or for whatever reason. None of those women are ever told, you know what, you have to show real contrition for what you've orchestrated. It's basically, well, what happened in your life? You were molested? Oh my goodness, none of it's your fault. Don't worry about it. And you know what, brothers, that's okay because we're living in Babylon. So we have to expect a very, very tainted understanding of what culpability and accountability is about. So it's up to us to hold ourselves to a certain standard to not get caught up in dumb shit. But once again, Gayle King is an example of an older, bitter female who's always going to try to cause a separation between a man and a woman. If they both have allegedly moved past it, leave it alone. I'm not quite sure if the female Janay Rice has moved past it. We'll find out in about 4 or 5 years. But as of right now, she claims that she has.
Well, see, that for me is something that I understand why was being said early on about, you know, is this a ploy to get back into football? I mean, I'll be the first one to say it. I don't have to retire to tell you I'm done with football. The pressure.
Football was also done with you too, brother. You were about finished.
Pressure I was under of being a star. That was the person I hated the most.
Brothers, you hear that? A lot of these star players in the NFL and the NBA, they're not having fun because they have so much pressure on them to be exemplary every night. They're no longer having the fun that they had when they were once children playing that sport, because now everything is about the money and the advertisements, and they have to score a certain amount of points per game or score a certain amount of touchdowns, or they might get cut and things of that nature. People are counting on them. Their family members are living off them. That's why they say more money, more problems, man. And then oftentimes they end up expressing that by getting addicted to drugs, cocaine or marijuana, or womanizing or what have you, beating up on women, because that's a way for them to express all the stress that they're under, having to be superlative in their particular sport. Not an excuse, it just is what it is.
Why did you give this man a second chance?
I know it's hard for people to understand.
It is.
And I'm not here.
Look at Gayle King. Gayle is really trying to get her to leave this man.
Here to force people to understand. It was never a thought whether I was going to leave or not, because I knew that wasn't him in that moment. This is somebody I've known since I was 15 years old.
Exactly. So in other words, there's nowhere in the world that you were going to leave somebody that you knew for 11, 12 years. You put in all that work and you had not even secured the bag yet. That's really what it comes down to. At the very least, you were going to secure the bag, have a kid or two, and make sure that you put yourself in a position so that if that shit happens again, you could run them through the white man's court system, because that's what it's really about.
I knew that we had work to do. And I was...
Yeah, work meaning contractual marriage. Get that marriage contract signed, secure the bag, in case this dude flips out again. Because basically right now, Gayle King said they have 2 kids together. They really have 3 kids because Ray Rice is her oldest son right now. He has to do whatever she wants.
I was willing to move forward and put in the work.
You said that you don't want to play football again, Ray, but do you think you deserve a second chance?
No. I didn't deserve another chance.
How seriously do you...
That was his way of emasculating himself on TV. No, I don't deserve a second chance. No matter how much I say sorry, no matter how much I beg, no matter how many programs I become a part of, no, Gayle King, I never deserve another chance. Just shoot me.
Do you think the NFL is taking domestic abuse?
I've met with them.
Who?
You know,
The
I
NFL?
met with NFL. They're trying to do the right thing. I know they are working with groups to try to get more of an understanding, and they're doing the work.
In addition...
The NFL is trying to do the most expedient thing for themselves, their business. So they're trying to make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's. And that's all. And that's really all that they should be held accountable for.
In addition to Kareem Hunt, the NFL is also dealing with Reuben Foster.
Yeah, it's a case that has recently been dropped because it was a bullshit case to begin with. But they won't do a follow-up of the Reuben Foster case on television, so I have to do the follow-up on my channel because, once again, so-called black men, they want you to be the face of domestic violence. They don't want you to be the face of the blame game. They don't want you to be the face of that. They don't want you to be the face of the man in America who's going to be set up the most by women, which is what the black man is. The black man is the most set up individual in America by women. It's not even a close second.
Last month, the San Francisco 49ers released the linebacker after a domestic violence arrest. Just days later, the Washington Redskins signed him, though he's ineligible to play or practice with the team while the NFL continues to investigate. How can people take that the NFL is taking abuse against women seriously?
I know the NFL, they're not trying to push people who do bad things or abuse against women. They're not trying to push those guys on the field.
Have you spoken to Kareem Hunt?
No, I haven't.
Let me say this very quickly. Not only is the NFL not trying to push guys on the field who have been accused of domestic violence, they actually go out of their way to assist in the demonization of those men, even before they've been found guilty in a court of law. The NFL will be fully within their rights to still allow players to play until they've been properly adjudicated. They don't even do that. They take your ass off the field just from an accusation. So we're truly living in a very different time. A woman can say whatever she wants to say, and we know that for the most part, women will say anything depending on where their emotions are at. So this notion that the NFL is not hard enough on domestic violence is really pure bullshit.
I haven't.
Do you want to?
I would love to help anyone that's willing to go the long haul.
Well, we reached out to the NFL, which confirmed that Rice shared his story as part of the league's domestic violence education program. The NFL says that Rice has an important message to share and that his commitment is sincere. And if you're a victim of domestic violence and you need help, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That's 1-800-799-7233.
Is that just for women or is that for men also? There's a lot of these men out here getting their ass whooped. Imagine a grown-ass man calling. Yeah, my name is Raheem, and she just hit me with a frying pan upside my head. I need help. Sir, are you okay? Where are you? Right now, I'm bleeding. I don't really know where I am right now. I can't remember. Just please, just somebody help me. Oh, here she come again. Click.
Thought that his commitment is very sincere. He does a lot of speaking to NFL players and to college players. He's coaching high school football at his old high school. He volunteers there. But I was really impressed with Janay Rice, I have to say.
Of course you were impressed with her. Because she's a great actress. Brothers, most of these women in this society are actresses, okay? The woman will say what she needs to say to get what she wants at that moment. To them, life is just a series of thrills, for the most part. Are there mature, intelligent women who are wife material in this society? Absolutely. But they're very, very few and far between, and you have to be able to tell a wife material woman from the average little dizzy broad out here, because 95% of these broads are dizzy broads and actresses. Okay? And even though I do that little mock-up of a man calling a domestic violence hotline. At the end of the day, if you see that your woman's trying to put hands on you or get up in your face and get confrontational, you got to cut that bitch off right away, bro. Don't try to make that shit work. Ain't none of these bitches worth all that. Because if she get in your face and you hook off on her, you're going to be the bad guy. No matter if she put her hands on you first, you're going to be the bad guy. Either with the police, in the court of law, or with some simps, maybe family relatives or her quote-unquote male friends, i.e. dudes waiting for the chance to hit. 1 or 2 or 3 of these dudes are going to try to run up on you. So once you see that a woman is like that or a female is like that, cut her off immediately.
She's not a little mouse burger robot wife, because I couldn't understand after knowing and seeing that video how she was able to take him back. And she said...
I've already stated why she took him back, Gayle King. Was the love there? Maybe. But it really was about, I've been with this dude for 12 years solid. I'm not going to find another guy like him. I saw his bank statement. He has $8 million in the bank. I have to make this work with him. I can't just go back out here to the street and see if I can find another dude to replace him. I'm not going to find another guy like him. So at the very least, I have to secure the bag, get the marriage contract, pop out a couple kids, and if he acts up in any way, shape, or form, I just leave his ass. And everybody will understand. If Janay Rice leaves Ray Rice 4 years from now, everybody will say, well, at least she tried. They're not going to say, oh, well, you know what? She really played a chess game with him. Nobody's going to say that. They're going to make her out to be the good guy. So that's why she stayed with him. It's not that difficult to figure out. Unless you're a dizzy airhead broad like Gayle King.
Says that this was the first and only time. I really pressed them on that, because I said that defies everything that we know about domestic violence.
I agree with that. I don't think that was their first time. I think that was their first time on camera. Because people just don't get into domestic violence disputes for the first time and be spitting and carrying on and hooking off and shit. Nah. That was a part of their day-to-day, allegedly.
Violence in any type of relationship, and they both insist that was the case.
Well, remember, he not only punched her,
exactly.
He knocked her unconscious.
I know.
The first videotape.
Well, that's going to happen when you have a stronger person fighting a weaker person in mutual combat. Just understand it does not take that much strength to spit on somebody, which is what she was doing to him repeatedly.
That we saw was just of Ray Rice dragging her,
yes.
And then I had that interview with Roger Goodell.
Yes, I remember that.
At the time, but I am glad they seem like they are in a good place in terms of getting the therapy they need to discuss this and maybe try and help people learn something more about domestic violence, whether they were a victim of it themselves and then repeated that behavior and how to end it.
Yeah, and that...
Brothers, let me say this. If you're one of these cats who likes to put your hands on women, you need to fast and pray. You need to find the source of your anger and deal with that anger. Because it's not going to end well for you if you keep putting your hands on a woman unsolicited. Now, if you're in a relationship where the woman is putting her hands on you, you have to cut her off immediately. Don't try to work it out with her. Because it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. As I've already stated, when you look at the full footage of the interaction between Ray Rice and Janay Rice, she was putting her hands on him first. She spit on him repeatedly. When he walked up to her in the elevator, she spit in his face. That's why he slapped her. Then she ran over to him to try to act like she was going to fight him, and he hooked off on her. And that's what happened. Does that make it right? No. Does that make it wrong? No. It's just very unfortunate. Because at the end of the day, when somebody decides they're going to spit on you, there are people who get killed for that. Okay? Where he was in the wrong was that he never should have allowed it to get to that level in the first place. So brothers, do not allow a relationship to get to that level of vitriol in the first place. Cut the woman off. There are plenty of broads out here.
And that's what they mean about hard work, to your point. I mean, they've had extensive counseling. They still have counseling, and they credit the counselor. And another thing I think is very telling, her parents have been married for 30 years, and her parents support their relationship. And as you...
Gayle King, of course her parents still support the relationship. Who else is their daughter going to meet that has 7 figures in the bank? We know for a fact the man had to have had 7 figures in the bank in 2014. Who knows what he has in the bank right now, but still. You know how much work it's going to take for her to meet somebody new? The parents' mentality was, Janay, look, make this shit work, secure the bag, and 5 years from now, if you don't want to be with him, just divorce his ass. Ain't nowhere in the world you're going to tell me that her father saw that footage and say, you know what, make it work with him. No. This is a money grab.
As you pointed out, when people have been giving apologies recently, they have one answer, it's very short, and let me get back to the other thing.
Yeah.
There's no way you could sit in that interview and give the answers Ray Rice did.
Yeah.
Well, I have news for you, sir. Neither you nor myself are really qualified to qualify an apology. When you ask someone to apologize and they do, you basically have to either take it or leave it. Who are you to tell somebody that their apology was not sincere enough? Either they're going to apologize or not. And either you're going to accept it or not. If you choose to not accept it, then you don't accept it.
That many answers at that depth without feeling it and feeling it anew.
He didn't run away from it, John, because I sort of had a judgmental attitude.
No shit. You're an old spinster. Of course you have a judgmental attitude. You're still mad that you caught your husband, your former husband, in bed with another woman 35 years ago. You still mad about that shit. That's why you've had an on-again, off-again romance with your homegirl Oprah, allegedly. So you still mad about that shit. And you still haven't moved past it. Like I tell you, brothers, a lot of these older so-called black women, they like to hamstring the relationships of younger black women and tell them to leave because they want them to be bitter and miserable like them.
I have to say, but he didn't run away from any of the questions, and they both embraced anything that we wanted to talk about.
To hear him say that he didn't deserve a second chance in the NFL was something most people don't expect to hear.
And doesn't want.
I expected to hear that because he understands that he has to emasculate himself. He has to emasculate himself for you women, because that's the new standard for society on liberal television. I have to bow down to women because the woman has such a low self-esteem, even though they sit on TV with their head held high, all this bullshit. All these broads here have self-confidence and self-esteem issues, so they need a man to emasculate himself in front of them to make themselves feel better about their life. Oh, he does view me as equal. Matter of fact, he views me as queen. Now I can look in the mirror and not cry myself to sleep at night.
Doesn't want to play football again, and his second chance is she gave him the second chance, and that's what matters to him.
That's all that matters, is that she gave him the second chance, at least for now. For now. But once again, come 2023, if this society's still around by 2023, they probably won't be together, but we'll see. Hopefully they will be. But anyway, brothers, once again, are you in a toxic relationship? If you are, you have to do something about that.